I want to give you one thing to do today. Not a framework, not a checklist, no. Just one thing. Call your own business at 7 p.m. tonight or on a Saturday morning. Use a number they won't recognize and see what happens. Not what you think happens, not what the system is configured to do. What actually happens? What a caller hear? What they experience? What options they have? For a lot of organizations, that call is a surprise and not a good one. My name is Daria. I look at how hotel groups, property firms, and healthcare practices handle inbound calls, and specifically at the gap between how organizations think their system work and how those systems actually perform when a real caller hits them. After hours coverage is the one the places where the gap is most consistent and very expensive. Most organizations that have a call handling problem outside business hours don't think that they have one. Ask a hotel operation director whether their after hours coverage is working. The answer is usually some version of yes. They have voicemail or an IVR that routes to a night manager or a number that forwards to whoever is on the call. The system is set up. It's there. The confidence is real. The problem is that the setup and working are not the same thing. A system being technically operational is not the same as a system successfully serving callers who are trying to reach you at 7 p.m. on a Thursday with a booking inquiry. Those are two different tests. Most organizations have run the first one. Almost none have systematically run the second one. The gap between them is where the revenue disappears. Let's go through the 4 signs organizations typically have in place after hours and what callers actually experience when they hit each one of them. First will be a voicemail. Voicemail feels like a coverage. The reasoning is logical. If someone really wants to reach out, they will leave a message and you will call them back. The inquiry is captured. But caller behavior data tells a different story. Most high-intent callers, the ones who have decided that they want to book a room, arrange a viewing, or confirm an appointment, don't leave voicemails. Not because they don't have time. Because voicemail creates uncertainty. They don't know whether you will call them back or whether they will be available when you do so. So they don't want and don't wait for any of that. They end the call and try somewhere else. In hospitality and property, this effect is particularly pronounced. Someone calling about a hotel room for next weekend has multiple alternatives within 30 seconds. Someone trying to arrange a property viewing on a Saturday morning is likely calling several letting agencies. The one that answers is the one that gets the viewing. The ones that go to the voicemail get a call back that comes too late. Voicemail is not an after-hour coverage. It's an apology to people who already decided to call a competitor. That's a harsh framing, but it is what behavioral data supports and shows. Second, IVR or an automated menu. An IVR system after hours creates a specific experience for callers. They reach the number, hit the menu, try to navigate to the right option, and in most cases don't get to a person who can help them with a new inquiry. The numbers on this are consistent across industries. 40% of callers hang up within 20 seconds of reaching an IVR, 90% within 60 seconds. For a caller trying to make a booking at 7 p.m., the IVR menu, however well designed, is asking them to invest time navigating the system when they intend to speak to someone. And most of them don't. They close the call. I made a full video on the IVR problem. I'll link it below if you want to see the longest version. The short version is an IVR that doesn't route to a person who can complete a booking inquiry after hours is not a coverage. It's a more complicated version of an unanswered phone. Set the night manager or on-call team. In hospitality especially, the answer to what happens after hours is often the night manager is here. And this is true. Someone is in the building, someone has a phone. But the night manager is running the hotel. Their job is operational, managing guest issues, security, maintenance, whatever comes up between midnight and 6 a.m. They're not sitting at the front desk waiting for a new booking inquiry from unknown callers. In practice, inbound sales calls at 7:30 p.m. go unanswered or reach somebody who takes a message that gets passed on next morning, by which point the caller has usually resolved the situation elsewhere. The night manager provides operational coverage. That's what they've been hired to do, and they do it well. They don't provide commercial coverage. The ability to take a new booking or upsell, asking them to do so is a model that doesn't hold under any real volume or pressure. Fourth, and this one is the sneaky one, the OTA fallback. In hospitality, many hotels have a quiet acceptance that after hours booking go to booking.com or Expedia. The booking still happens, it shows up in the data as a booking, everybody moves on. What doesn't show up in the data is the commission. Somewhere between 15 and 25% depending on the platform and the properties agreements. The caller who tried to reach you directly at 7 p.m. didn't get through, went to booking platform and completed the booking there that looks like a success in your occupancy report. What is it actually? differently. It's a direct booking that became a commission booking because the coverage wasn't there to start with. Multiply that by the number of evenings it happens at your average booking value, and the commission figure starts to look like a quiet and entirely avoidable expense. The hotel that answers the call directly gets the booking at full margin. The hotel that routes caller to the OTA by default pays for the privilege of having been unavailable. For property managers and letting agents, the dynamic has its own specific version. Property viewings in most markets are arranged by people working around their jobs. They call on evenings and weekends. Saturday morning is one of the highest intent windows of the week for residential property inquiries. Someone who's been searching online found a property they like and they're ready to arrange a viewing. They call on Saturday morning because this is when they're off work. If this call goes to voicemail, they move on to the next listing. Property managers. The viewing was booked by the person who called on Sunday. Are you that person? The lettings agent who answers Saturday morning calls close most viewings, not because their properties are the best, because they were there when the decision was being made. In a competitive letting market, the gap, Saturday morning, coverage versus voicemails, is a difference between being the agent who fills the property and being the one who wonders why inquiries haven't converted. Real after-hours coverage, as opposed to the appearance of the coverage, has one defining characteristic. A caller with a general inquiry can reach someone or something that can actually help them. Not take a message, not route them to the IVR, actually help them answer question, take a booking, arrange a viewing, provide information they called. What it looks like in practice varies, but the test is always the same. Call your own business number at 7 p.m. Would you be satisfied with what you've got? If the answer is no, or you're not sure, that is a starting point for understanding what coverage actually means for your operation. I've linked a video below that shows what call handling looks like when the goal is to actually complete the inquiry. A real call, no script. Was watching as a comparison point. Here's what I want you to take from this video. First, there is a difference between having a system and having a coverage. Voicemail, IVR, and a night manager are systems. They are not reliable coverage, in the sense of giving a high-intent caller a path to complete inquiry. Second, the OTA fallback is real coverage, at 15 to 25% commission per booking. It was knowing whether your operation is accidentally subsidizing that model by being unavailable when callers want to reach out to you directly. The simplest test is the one I mentioned at the start. Call your own business tonight at 7 p.m., not your direct line, the main number a new inquiry would use. See what happens. If what you experience wouldn't satisfy you as a caller, it's not satisfying your callers either. A question for the comments. When was the last time someone at your organization actually tested the after-hours caller experience from the outside? Would love to know how that went. Drop it in the comment below. If that was useful, subscribe to my channel. New videos coming every week.